How's it going, everyone? So, the new Boruto chapter just dropped and it was a juicy one, that's for sure. So, the chapter starts off with a little flashback. We see how Matsuri defeated Gaara. Bro was wounded and on the brink of death, which makes sense. Gaara isn't anywhere near powerful enough to fight these Shinju. So, Gaara created an opening for Shinki and the rest of the kids to escape, but Shinki went rogue and tried to save Gaara. Gaara was about to be absorbed by a claw grime, but Shinki used his iron sand to seal him away before that happened. Only problem is that Shinki got absorbed himself, and that's how Ryu was born essentially. Matsuri was impressed with his grit, and that's why she was so excited when Ryu was born. Anyway, we cut back to the call between Shikamaru and Kankuro. It's revealed that Gaara is still alive inside Shinki's armor, albeit barely, but only Shinki can undo the sealing jutsu. Kankuro then asks Shikamaru for help and information to deal with the Shinju, and Shikamaru tells him that he'll share any intel he gets with the Sand Village. He also warns him that Ryu will probably come back for Gaara. Finally, Kankuro tells Shikamaru to keep this news from Temari to not get her worried. After the call ended, Shikamaru tells Sarda to inform him if Boruto makes another appearance because he needs more of his intel, of course. And we see that one of Koji's toads was eavesdropping on the entire conversation. Then we cut to the Shinju, and Juro tells Ryu that he came up with his name, and guess what? Ryu likes his name! What a wholesome little family. Anyway, Ryu senses Code lurking around and pulls him out. I can already see the Code L incoming. Juro tells Ryu to let Lode go since they owe him for their existence and all that. Juro asks Code what he wants, and Lode asks why they're not going after Yatsutsuki to eat them. Juro tells him that they will eventually, but they have more interesting things to do first. Juro tells Code he can go kill Boruto if that's what he wants, since they only need Kawaki as fodder. Code gets pissed and tells him that he'll decide who to kill and that he'll obtain the chakra fruit. Then Juro low-key destroys him by asking what would happen if the Shinju themselves ate the chakra fruit, which is actually a great question low-key. I hope something is done with that bit of setup in the future. And there it is. Common Code L. Juro casually Luke Skywalker's Code, and while I didn't expect Code to be able to do anything against the Shinju, it's still sad and honestly hilarious how much of a fraud he actually is. It's insane. Juro then condescendingly offers Code a lifeline by saying that he'll offer him the chakra fruit if he manages to kill Boruto and his accomplices. Code acts all tough, of course, but he agrees in the end. We also find out who Ryu's target is, and it's Gaara. I'm not gonna lie, this does make sense logically speaking. That being said though, it's boring as fuck, man. It's really boring. I was hoping his target would be something out of left field like Mitsuki or something, but oh well, it's not too big of a deal. I guess we'll probably be getting a redo of the Kazekage rescue arc, which is rather derivative, I must admit, but it has potential to be interesting, I guess. We'll see how it plays out. Then we cut to Boruto sitting on top of the Hokage mountain where he used to sit with Kawaki, and of course Kawaki shows up. Boruto asks why he's not attacking him, which Kawaki answers with a question of his own. He asks why Boruto didn't out him by revealing the truth. Boruto says that he didn't want to cause division and confusion in the village, and that he's totally fine with being a rogue ninja hated by everyone because he has his master's resolve. Kawaki then asks Boruto about Momoshiki, saying that he still can't control his karma. Boruto confirms that he indeed cannot, and that he tried to use karma 2 years ago when he fought Code with Sasuke, but it felt the exact same as when Momoshiki possessed him. This is the reason why Boruto hasn't used karma once ever since. Interestingly, Momoshiki also hasn't spoken once in those 3 years. Not one time. So he's probably lurking in the background, scheming something. Or maybe little bro's just depressed he couldn't break Boruto's spirit. Who knows? Boruto then tells Kawaki that the Shinju are super dangerous, especially Juro, who he cannot defeat on his own. He asks for Kawaki's help and that taking them down comes first. He agrees that if he does run wild later on, Kawaki can kill him. Boruto tells him that whether the fight is against him or against the Shinju, Kawaki needs to get a lot stronger. Normally the ideal solution would be to free Naruto and have him train Kawaki, but since that would take too long, instead Boruto revealed a method to getting Kawaki a lot stronger that would take much less time. The interesting bit is that Kawaki would have figured this strategy on his own anyway, and that Boruto revealed this given his knowledge of the future that he has thanks to Koji. He reveals that Amado has placed limiters on Kawaki's power and offensive capabilities, and that he instead boosted his defensive capabilities and healing factor. This makes sense on so many levels. For starters, Amado needs Kawaki alive, so making him a lot harder to kill is a smart move. Additionally, it makes sense for Kawaki's power to have been limited because his full power should be somewhat close to that of Ishiki's, so Amado probably limited his power to make him a lot easier to control, just like he did with Code, for example. Amado was listening in because he bugged Kawaki's eye, and he deduced that Boruto's source was likely Koji. I honestly can't wait for the Koji-Amado reunion, that shit will go so hard. Finally, Kawaki says that he still plans to eliminate all Otsutsuki, including Boruto and himself. However, he plans to put that to the side for the time being until they deal with the Shinjo problem. And so, the Boruto-Kawaki team-up is born. And that's pretty much all we got this month. Honestly, this chapter was really good. It had a lot of interesting plot progressions and cool moments. I love Jura's vibe, man. Bro's so chill and so condescending. He's giving me some light Madara vibes. Getting another L on Code's resume was also fun to see. I honestly don't know where his story goes from here, but my wager is he'll probably fight Koji in the future, since he'll be hunting Boruto and his accomplices. Early prediction, Koji will utterly humiliate Code. Brave prediction, I know. The Kawaki and Boruto interaction was also really cool to see. I'm excited to see where that goes. Kawaki finally potentially living up to his potential is quite exciting. At least someone is getting out of Fraud Watch, and it sure as shit ain't Load. I also felt the pacing was a lot better this month. It actually felt like we got a decent bit of progression for once, we had multiple plot threads get set up, and I'm just really excited for the future of 2 Blue Vortex. So yeah, I'll give 2 Blue Vortex Chapter 15 a solid 8.5 out of 10. It was just a really great setup chapter. So yeah, what did you guys think of this month's chapter? Drop your thoughts and predictions for what comes next in the comment section below, and while you're at it, please like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one.